Was just a very quick review of the letters. So see that in Spanish, they have most of the same letters that we do in English in the alphabet, but there's a few letters that they have that we don't have. And so that would be these four on the bottom, CHLL, this N with a thing, which is called an Enye, and then double R's. So okay, so with these double R's, this is when you roll your R's. I can't really roll my R's still, but if you can, that's where you would roll R's in words. But if not, it's okay. And so here we have our pronunciation of our vowels. So if you guys want to follow along, you don't have to unmute or anything, but if you just want to practice the pronunciation, that would be great. So we have our vowels in English would be A, E, I, O, U, and then sometimes we would use Y's vowel. So this would be A, E, O, and U. And then Y, depending on where it is in the word, it can either sound like E or it can sound like Ya. And so in Spanish, some of our letters that we have in English are pronounced differently. So we have a little bit of special letters. So these are letters that we have in English, but they don't sound the same. So in Spanish, a C, again, kind of depending on where it is in the word, it can either sound like a K or it can sound like an S. The H is silent. So for example, hola, you don't pronounce the H, or hablar, there's an H in the front, but you just wouldn't say it. The J actually makes the H noise in Spanish, so the J would make a ha. This N with the little squiggle, this Enye, just like that. So in English, it sounds like Kenya, so it'd make a nya noise. Double L's are pronounced like ya, so cry. So you wouldn't pronounce this as a normal L, but it sounds more like a Y. And R, you kind of hit the back of your tongue, so like R in Spanish would be ere. Double R's would be rolling your R's. The Q is pronounced like a K, or would sound like the C in cat. The X also makes a ha noise, like the J, so like in hello. And then the Z would make an S noise, like soup. If I'm going too fast and you want to write any of this down, you can just tell me in the chat or unmute.
If you need to unmute, you can write it down. Did you write it all down? Yeah. Oh, okay. Sheesh. It was really fast.
So here are more example words for these special letters. So first we have piñata. So instead of saying pinata, which would how you would do it without this little squiggly mark, since it makes the NYA noise, it would be piñata.
You say piñata, piñata.
Piñata.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have car, which would be carro with the rolled R's. But since I can't really pronounce it, here's just, I'm going to show a little video.
So really roll your R quite hard, otherwise they won't understand you. And now you know, did you get in Spanish, so they wouldn't understand what in Argentina, in particular in Spain, this would be more of an old word, more like carriage, rather than a car. But anyhow, in both places that would be said as carro, carro. So because there's two R.
Carro. Carro.
Okay, so that's kind of how it would sound like with your rolled R's.
Carro. Carro. Carro.
Next we have llover, which means to rain. And so we see we have our double L's right here. So instead of pronouncing it as an L, you kind of pronounce it as a Y to be llover. And now we have jugo, which means juice. And so the J in Spanish kind of makes the H noise because the H in Spanish doesn't make a noise. So this would be jugo.
Is it jugo? Jugo? Juice.
And again, we're kind of using the vowel sounds that we learned at the beginning. Like the U makes the U noise, and then the O makes the O noise. So it's jugo. Next we have helado, which means ice cream. And since we have an H in the front, you would pronounce it, and so you would pronounce it as if the H wasn't there. So it's just helado.
Helado. Ice cream.
And we have the E making the E noise, A, and then O. And next we have queso, which means cheese. And so for the Q, instead of having it make a Q noise, it makes a K noise.
Queso. Queso.
Okay, so that's the end of our little practice for that. And so now we're going to go over our numbers. So for one, we have uno. We have our U pronounced as the two O's, which make a U noise. Dos, which means two. Tres, which is three. And you kind of hear the difference in R's. So it's tres.
Tres.
Four would be cuatro.
Cuatro.
We have the CU would make a Q noise. And then the O is OH, so it'd be throw at the end. We have cinco for five. And this is an example of how the C can be pronounced as an S and a K. So we have it right here as an S, and we have the I as double E's. So this first part would be seen, and then the second part, where the C is acting like a K, would be cinco. We have seis for six. Seven is siete. 8 is ocho. 9 is nueve. And 10 is 10. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of practice. If you guys just want to say it to yourselves, you don't, or if you want to put the numbers in the chat, we're just going to go over saying 1 through 10. And if you need help, I can go back to the last slide.
So go ahead and start saying the numbers. Uno, dos, tres, and you missed four. Cuatro. Did you want to go back to the last slide? Cuatro, cuatro, seis, siete, ocho, nueves. Do you want to hear her say it again?
Huh?
Do you want her to say the numbers again?
Can you say the numbers again?
Yep. And if you need help with the presentation, you can just ask me.
I think that's what she wants, is the pronunciation.
Okay. So for 1, we have uno.
Say it with her.
Uno,
2, we have dos.
dos,
3, we have tres.
tres,
4, we have cuatro.
cuatro,
5, we have cinco.
cinco,
6, we have seis.
seis,
For 7, there's siete.
siete,
For 8, we have ocho.
ocho,
9 is 9. Nueve.
nueve,
And then for 10, we have diez.
diez.
Good job. And so that's the end of our slideshow. But I'm going to go back to the beginning with the Spanish alphabet and show you guys a video that goes a little bit slower because the way they do the alphabet is a little bit different in Spanish. Give me 1 second. The computer is a little bit slow.
Diferente. ¿Estás listo? A, E, I, O, U. Con M es ma, me, mi, mo, mu. Con P es pa, pe, pi, po, pu. Con L es la, le, li, lo, lu. Muy bien. Otra vez. A, E, I, O, U. Con M es ma, me, mi, mo, mu. Con P es pa, pe, pi, po, pu. Con L es la, le, li, lo, lu. Y sí, Cosmo. Hiciste muy buen trabajo. Y ahora sabes todo el alfabeto y las vocales también. Si quieres, mañana vamos a cantar.
We can finish the slideshow. So I'm just gonna go to homework as extra practice, and so you guys don't have to do it later.
Make sure you say thank you to her. Well, after,
Okay, so we're just gonna do the first two right here. And basically, it's just writing the number in Spanish. So I'll give you guys a little bit of time to think about it, and then we can talk about it. If you need help, you can just unmute and I can help you.
Do you remember how to write the...
So the first two would be, how would you write 1 in Spanish, and how would you write 2 in Spanish?
You know how to write them?
Yeah.
You want to put it in chat?
So,
There's your chat. You can type it.
so do I press this for this?
No, you don't have to. These are how you pronounce it.
Okay.
Okay. You see how she wrote it? That's how you actually write it.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
It's okay. You can say that when you say that.
Okay, so for our first one, we have 1, which is uno.
It's okay.
You spell it U-N-O,
Write that down.
but remember the U is pronounced as 2 O's, so it'd be U. And then for 2, we have dos, which would be
Write that down,
spelled
too.
D-O-S. Okay. Do you want to do 3, 4, and 5? Again, if you need help, you can put it in the chat, or you can...
Sienna, you know how Or you can ask for help. You can. I'm not sure. Whatever you want to do. Okay. What number is that?
3.
All right, she write that down the right way. You know how to do 4. You know how to do 4.
No.
That's good. You can always wait. I think they wrote Catro. Or you can ask for help if you need it. You can let them know you're not sure. They went to SAS, which is 6.
Okay, so we have 3, which would be tres. So TRES.
Write down Catro and Cinco.
And then 4, we have cuatro. So that would be QUATRO. Cuatro. And then for 5, we have cinco. So it'd be CINCO. And here are the next 3. If you want me to go back to the slides, I can also do that.
Do you know how to do 6?
I think I remember.
Alright. Put it in the chat.
Okay, so we have 6, 7, and 8. For 6, we have seis, and that is spelled SEIS. You hear the seis, so we have the E from E and then the E, the seis part from the I. For 7, we have siete, which would be SIETE. And then for ocho, the CH in Spanish is pronounced ch, and so we have ocho, OCHO. And here are our last 2. We have 9 and 10. So for 9, we have nueve. That's spelled Nueva. And then for 10, we have diez. So good job. You guys know the concepts of these. The spelling's a little bit hard because a lot of them have a lot of vowels. And we're not yet super familiar with Spanish vowels, but that's okay. And so for this one, we're just going to pick which option these letters make in Spanish. So if you want to, you can kind of look back to the numbers if that helps at all. So in A in Spanish, would that make the U noise, the E noise, or the A noise?
You can unmute yourself if you want. Or you can type.
Yeah, great job. So the A makes an A noise, and the U. Does that make an O noise, the Ya noise, or the U noise? So you can think about uno.
Go ahead.
So the word uno starts with a U. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good job. So the U makes the U noise, and then we have the N with a little squiggle. Does that make a normal N noise, the na noise, or the nya? So this one makes the nya. So it's kind of the name, the enye. And then last we have the double L's. So does this sound like a normal L, the la, ya, or lo? So the double L's do make a Y noise, so it'd be ya. The normal L would make a la noise, but since we have 2 of them, kind of like in the word, the example was llover, which has 2 L's at the beginning, it sounds like a Y. Okay.
Just so
so
you
that's all
know,
we have
she
time for
actually got
today.
all of
If you have
them
any
correct
questions, you
except
can
for the
stay
last
back.
one.
If you guys, anytime during this class, if you need a little extra help, you can talk to me after class and we can set up any time for review if you want to. Otherwise, if you have no questions, you guys can go. Bye.
Got unmuted, sorry, thank you. Move on.